Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Conceited Bear with another video for you. This one's on one of the new maps, Discovery, fairly big one. And this map I will be running with Scavenger, which is not Pro, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Ninja Pro. Of course, I've got the FAMAS with the red dot, which actually has a blue dot sight on it. And I've got my M19 with extended mags as my sidearm. Just real quick also, I've got frag grenades and concussion grenades, I believe, on, and my equipment is a claymore. So in this video, I kind of wanted to talk about the different roles that people have in a team, and this video is a particularly good example of the Slayer role on a team. So teams that are really organized, like NVS or Team Fear, Optic Gaming, Game Battles, and stuff like that, for Game Battles teams, they will have different class setups for, like, a certain player will be assigned to do a certain thing. So for example, they'll have OBJ, which objective, they'll have a Slayer, they'll have support players, and sometimes they'll have different setups for different maps. So this map I am playing a Slayer role. I kind of just decided to do it on my own, because when I play with the people I meet on Huppet, we don't really assign each other roles or anything. We just kind of go do our thing. It ends up working out. We rely on pure skill, which is not the greatest thing to do, but you know what, it works out quite often because pubs aren't that difficult. Like a first death is a noob tube. But so for most people, like I said, in public matches, they can only really identify two different kinds of players, and those are rushers and campers. And that's not entirely true, because there are more than just rushers and campers. In fact, rushers and campers aren't really designated roles. Like for example, if I go into a pub and I started talking in game chat, they would probably call me a camper, because I hang out in this building and lock it down for most of the game. There's a reason that I hang out in this building, and it's because I can lock down B. If you'll notice, I am the only person that I can tell that is on the opposite side of the map. Like for example, we're holding the C flag, they're holding the A flag. I'm actually on their side of B, while the rest of my team is on our side of B and the rest of their team is on their side of B. So that allows me to keep them away from B and lets my team push forward a bit, although we don't really get to push forward until a bit later in the game. I am actually only playing with one teammate in this game, that is Falcon Punch. We just did a dual comm. If you haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out, it's definitely worth it. And he throws up the first Blackbird of the game, so kudos to Falcon. But anyways, I want to talk about the Slayer role. That guy fails really hard at knifing me. The team, I also want to mention the team that we're playing against this game isn't really the greatest, but you know what, this video will do. So Slayer class selection. What went into my mind when I was choosing different guns and perks and stuff like that for this class. The FAMAS red dot, probably my favorite assault rifle right now. But it's my favorite when I use red dot with or blue dot, or I like the blue dot better for some reason. But the FAMAS red dot is used a lot in game battles and MLG and all, like right now, because it's a solid weapon. You can predict the recoil on it, so it's very manageable recoil. It's got a good fire rate. It's a fairly easy gun to use when you look at it. So that's always a good selection for your gun if you're going to be using a Slayer kind of class. Slayer, you're generally going to want an assault rifle. So my top 3 picks for my Slayer classes are the FAMAS red dot, the Galil dual mags, and the AK-47 dual mags. And I really like the iron sights a lot better on the Galil and the AK-47 than I do on the FAMAS for some reason, although I am able to use the FAMAS for long enough to get my silencer kills for my Ninja Pro, but after that I love going back to the red dot on it. It really helps me out. So for perk selection, I enjoy using, when I'm in pubs, obviously Scavenger or Hardline, depending on if I'm using dual mags or red dot. Dual mags, you get all that extra ammo. And the second perk, Sleight of Hand Pro, always, and no matter whether I'm using dual mag or red dot. And the third perk is Ninja Pro, hopefully Pro. Pro is obviously ideal, but regular is not bad either. And I'm running with the frag grenade. I find it easier to control the frag grenade, and it has a larger lethal blast radius, so that always helps. So as you can see, actually, I pick up a frag kill right here. I didn't want to rush in balls out with my pistol because I didn't have any ammo left on my FAMAS. So I didn't want to rush in balls out. I get that grenade kill, run over, and pick up this guy's scavenger pack. And this is actually kind of glitchy there. Oh no, never mind. It looks kind of glitchy the first time I watched it, but it looked like I got the full reload off the first time, and it didn't go off for some reason. But anyways, when I'm playing the Slayer role, most of the time I'm looking around B, and I'm looking around their spawn. And the whole idea behind the Slayer role is that if they're dead, they can't capture points or they can't plant bombs. So it really does work, especially when you're playing with a 4v4 team. Like I said, the difference between 4v4, or what we'll say, the difference between 4v4 and 6v6 is huge, especially if there's a spawn delay on it, like in capture the flag and stuff like that. You get their whole team dead, you can carry a flag up the field real easy. So for the perk selection, I've gone through that already. My sidearm, I always run with the M19 extended mags unless I'm doing my takedown class. That's just my favorite pistol to use. Whatever pistol is your favorite to use, I would always recommend using extended mags on it. And here I get a little bit cocky and end up dying because there's a guy in our base. And that's the building on the other side of the map that I wanted to talk about. Like, the building that I was in most of this game is on the other side of the map. But if you have the A spawn, the building that I'm in right now, right here, is the best spot to get into if you're going to be a Slayer on the other team, or in that back area with all those barrels. The barrels stacked up, I guess they are. But anyways, the enemy team Ghost isn't really too much of a problem because we get quite a few Blackbirds. We've got spy planes up, and I kind of know the routes that they're trying to run on me, so it's fairly easy to figure out what they're trying to do. For kill streaks, for the Slayer role, you're going to want to run fairly high kill streaks in this game. I'm running counter, spy plane, Blackbird, and chopper gunner. You could definitely go with like an 8, 9, 11 setup. That works just as well. But I really enjoy the counter spy plane because it gives them a little bit of a tougher time for them to find me, and it lets me control the engagements just that much better. And the equipment, if you're going to set up in a building for a long time, you might want to go with a motion sensor just because it can detect ghosts, and that helps a little bit. But I don't know, lately I've been using the motion sensor a little bit. I kind of prefer the Claymore because if I'm shooting at someone and someone shows up on my motion sensor, I'm not really paying as much attention to the minimap as I should be. So the Claymore just kind of really gives me a little bit of a boost there. But anyways, I'm going to try and make a couple more videos about the different kind of roles, and I'll try and do the video that corresponds with the different roles. So for example, I'll try and do an OBJ role where I'm capturing a whole bunch of points and stuff and moving up with team. OBJ is what people generally call in pubs the rushers, capturing all the points and stuff. And one more thing real quick, the Slayers and the support players, just because the role is not designated as OBJ objective, does not mean that they don't capture points or anything like that when they need to. It just means that that's not their designated role. So we are able to hold B for the most part of this game. A lot of people have been hating these new maps, but like I've said in the past, I really don't hate them. I don't love them, but I don't hate them. I have played maybe not even 5 games on Discovery, and I end up doing really well in this one. Get 2 chopper gunners, that's great. And the game's about to wrap up here. I get 1 more defend, and I get a fairly good KD, quite a lot of kills. Last kill of the game and the first kill of the game as well. So 59 and 5. Remember, bears are people too. I'll see you guys next time.